and leaves around. So, I said to move the bonfire somewhere else, and out of nowhere, Smokey Bear shows up and hugs me.
So you noticed some wildfire hazards and moved your bonfire to a safer location.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Smokey, all right. He likes it when people help prevent wildfires. It hits him close to home. Not everybody gets the hug, my friend. So that's pretty special to get a hug from Smokey Bear.
So it was him. Guys, I told you it was Smokey.
Okay, well, congratulations, my friend. And thanks for calling. There are many ways to prevent a wildfire. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Little roller up along first. Behind the base. Gets thrown up there. Here comes Knight and the Mets win. See you, Pittsburgh. Can't wait. Looking, throwing in the end zone.
You're tuned into Game On with Josh Silverberg and Eric Bowe. Talking all things sports. It's
Game on!
Yeah, game on.
Game On, right here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Gave my soul to this ring and these people a long time ago. Hey, Rock, go yourself. There's your main event for WrestleMania. John Cena.
All right. How about that to start the show, ladies and gentlemen? Did you see that? Did you hear that? Mind blown. We are live here on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network, joining you every single Thursday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is Game On. We got the full crew back. It's been a few weeks, but we are all here. Of course, co-host Eric Bowe. How you doing, man?
Hey, glad to be back. Good to see you. Hope you had a good time as well.
It was a great time. I will say this. Of course, Speedy Petey on the board. Speedy, what's up?
Very interesting bit of intro. I was not following wrestling much, but I was shocked at all that.
I had to
on Twitter.
I mean, it had to. So, I mean,
hold on, Josh, before we even get it, why don't you give a breakdown of exactly what happened? In case some people missed it.
Well, really quick with the trip and everything like that, it was a lot. We're gonna wait till the kids are more self-sufficient and we don't have to wheel a stroller around. We'll leave it at that. But it was a great time. It was a great time. The kids had a lot of fun. Caleb had a blast and everything. Carter, and thank you to my parents, of course. They were awesome. They were amazing, so helpful, and everything of that nature.
Eric Bowe Sr. That's
right. But it was a great trip. Very much needed. Need a vacation from my vacation. So. As far as that clip goes, yeah, the unthinkable happened. John Cena, I'm looking right at the camera. You see me, Speedy? Mm-hmm. Turned into a bad guy. Kicked Cody Rhodes right in the nads.
Oh, terrible.
Well, everybody's been asking for it. And the thing is, I know, Eric, you don't watch much wrestling. I know Speedy doesn't watch wrestling.
Hold on.
But everybody has been asking me for days, Josh, you have to talk about it on your show. You have to talk about it because you're such a wrestling fan. You have to give your analysis and your thoughts on it. I'll be quick with it. It was awesome.
Wow. Please do go on.
It was great. The whole thing, and I didn't see it coming. I don't care if you said you saw it coming. If you did, I want you drug tested because there's no way anybody saw it coming. There were subtle hints. after the Royal Rumble, he put himself in the Elimination Chamber, which is something Cena never does. He always, hustle, loyalty, respect. He has been against the grain and always wants to earn it his way. And he put himself in there, didn't have to qualify. And The Rock, asked Cody for his soul. Cody said no. And The Rock had a plan B, and Travis Scott started saging Cody Rhodes while he was on the ground, slapped him even. I saw that clip. So that was really something to watch, to see. I think, and Errol and I have talked about this nonstop the last couple of days. I saw when Hogan turned heel with the NWO. It's neck and neck for the biggest heel turn, because you have to understand, John Cena, all-time most Make-A-Wish Foundation wishes of anybody on this planet. John Cena holds that record. You see him in the commercials and the movies now, but he always with the kids, right? He was a big kids person. And then to see that, and it was at, in Toronto, where they had the pay-per-view where the Blue Jays play. Same place where Stone Cold turned heel, which didn't work. I'll go on record as saying I want to see it come to fruition, but we have to remember Hulk Hogan early in his career was a bad guy, actually, back before he joined the WWE. John Cena was maybe a bad guy for a month when he first started, but is never a bad guy, though. So this is a very shocking turn of events. It's made WrestleMania even better now, going into Las Vegas, which I so wish I was going to. I'm going to try to go to SummerSlam this summer at MetLife. You want to go, Eric? Nah. Days, Saturday and Sunday. But it really was a very shocking thing. By the way, you can check us out on worldwidesportsradio.com, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all any smart devices or anything else. I'm waiting for
Like and follow. Like and follow. Like and follow. Please.
How'd I do?
And
there's always one.
Yeah, and our show also streams on TikTok as well. And follow our social media on TikTok and our YouTube as well. Job on the Mouth.
Give us a thumbs up. Give us a like. Give us a comment. Give us a
That's
follow.
Right. Game on, man. Let's go. Come on.
Give a comment of how terrible I am, or how good Josh is, or
yeah, right.
How we enjoy.
We have
this is out.
The real question: how was Eric Bowe Sr.?
Yeah. Well, we have a lot to get into tonight. Like I said, I want to touch on that John Cena stuff quickly. Obviously, we'll get into the NFL free agency and all the stuff with the combine. I didn't watch a single second of the combine because we had the conversation last week. Jeff called in. I said I can't sit there and watch it. We'll get into that. We'll get into March Madness coming up. How about locally, St. John's?
Yeah.
Big deal. My Wisconsin Badgers. Come on, Speedy.
They're good.
Yeah.
Good.
Wait.
It's a matter of
don't fall for the
your
trap.
coach can get him over the top.
Yeah, right. Yeah, they'll lose in the second round. Okay.
Pick your 11 seed to beat them.
But a lot of stuff going, a lot of trades in the NFL. We'll discuss that. Debo Samuel going to the Commanders. Eric said Christian Kirk went to the Texans today.
I thought he was cut, and then I saw that too.
Yeah, I guess it was a last minute thing. So last minute thing. NHL Trade Deadline is tomorrow, where Brock Nelson seems to be the number one target on the trading block. Other rumors going around, possibly Chris Kreider being shipped out and traded. Kreider's one of my favorite Rangers ever, and I'm all for it. Again, I don't, these guys don't pay my tax and stuff, so I don't have any affection with them.
You trade Kreider. What are you getting back? What are you trying to do? How are you going to bolster the team? How do you make a run?
You could ask Speedy. Speedy would probably know better than me, but in regards to what the value would be, I would say a second rounder with the contract. He's in his mid-30s. He's got back issues. The time to trade him was after he had his 40-goal season, but they were never going to do it. But yeah, we'll touch on that in a little bit. And then, of course, the You're Better Than That. We'll do that a little bit later on in the show. But going back to the John Cena thing quick, it was really produced, sounded, and then to have his post-match interview with the media where he goes onto the stage, takes his mic and just drops it and doesn't say a word and then flies back to his movie set. Very un-John Cena-like. But if you go through the McDonald's drive-thru, apparently you get to see you got the goods, and John Cena smiles at you with the yellow suit on, yellow vest on. So I don't know. I mean, it's a ball. I mean, this is his retirement tour, so it's a ballsy thing that he's doing this. But everybody's been clamoring for this. He's been doing this for over 20 years.
I could not see it happening.
I mean, it was reported on First Take was talking about it. Even CNN was talking about it. I mean, it really blew up all over the place that this happened. I mean, this is the biggest heel turn since Hulk Hogan joined the NWO, and
that's huge.
I got to see. I saw both live. I saw when Hogan did it in '96, and now I see John Cena doing it, and it really adds the intrigue for WrestleMania time now. Because you were gonna have two faces, two good guys, and Cody and Cena go at it. Cena's his last main event. And this just changes the game. And now I'm curious how the fan reaction is going to be at Mania. Some of them will cheer for Cena. It will happen that he's a heel now. People are going to love this. I want to see a new theme song. I want to see new ring gear. I want to see a different attitude. I want him to go full balls to the wall and take on this heel persona that he's about to take on. Because, again, he was the face of WWE for over 20 years. In this century, and everything of that nature. It really, this is The Rock said it in his post match. It's a ballsy thing that he's doing this, but he was all for it, and it really is a very crazy sequence. Again, Speedy doesn't watch wrestling either. Speedy thought it was nuts. I mean, it really is a very crazy time now, and now we're waiting for this. Now you want to see this road to WrestleMania now. How's it going to unfold, and where are the places and the pieces going to land in regards to how they do this and portray this? And will Cena – obviously Cena's going to take on this because he doesn't have a choice now. And what this also can do is down the road, maybe Cena becomes a good guy again and goes against The Rock one more time and does that. So you can add that element to the surprise and everything.
Right. But Josh, I gotta say something real quick, right?
The setup? I'm in a new chair.
Did not cross my mind, but we'll get to that. You had mentioned Hogan going to the NWO, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, what do you think is a bigger story out of the two? Because Hogan, when that happened back when, right? And you had the NWO start and all that other fun stuff. That was like the biggest deal ever.
I agree with you 100%. Absolutely. It was a massive deal.
So,
but I look at this to the point of
as like that's 1A, this is 1B.
Oh yeah, I think you have to. I almost think you have to almost slightly put him ahead of the Hogan thing.
Ahead?
Because you have to understand what John Cena was for years. He was the face of the company. He was the voice of the company. He was the guy that would go to the events. He would promote. He would do everything. Again, the thing that you need to remember, he is the #1 Make-A-Wish Foundation person in the world that everybody wants. He was loved by kids and everything of that nature. The standard that he brought was ginormous to this industry. He was the epitome of what a good guy is. I do everything by the book, with the rules, justifiably so, and I follow through with it, and I work hard, and I do everything for this company, and I don't miss a week. And whether I'm booed or I'm cheered, I do everything the same exact way. He wears with the jorts and the sneakers and the "you can't see me" and of course the slogan. So
Hogan had a persona. Hogan had a slogan.
Say your prayers, eat your vitamin. No, again, I here's the thing. I just don't think. I mean, nobody saw the Hogan one happening either. And I guess it's time. We have to remember John Cena holds the record for longest good guy run in WWE history. 24 years.
It's bound to happen.
We didn't know. People talked about it forever. Is he going to do it or not? And people didn't know. He did. He's got to fix the bald spot, but I mean that's a whole other thing. Everything like that. But it was a great show. I mean, Triple H is cooking. He's doing a great job and everything. And then CM Punk talking trash on Monday night to both of them, calling them bald-headed frauds, and everything of that nature. So it's good. But
now, listen, that was kind of what do you say? Tricky. No one saw it happening or anything. And
the thing is, there were subtle hints. Like even like the night before on his X page, it was a picture of him, The Rock, and Travis Scott on a picture together. And nobody thought of anything of it. Same thing with the Royal Rumble post conference. I'm putting myself in the chamber match because I've earned it. It's best. The big slogan, the heel slogan that was always used. It's best for business. Something he always was against. He was always against that slogan. It's best for business. He hated that slogan, but he kept using it during his post-match Royal Rumble. Nobody saw it. I didn't think about it. I was like, nah, that's good. I'm like, he earned it. He's right.
You didn't see that coming? You know what I didn't see coming? Deebo Samuel getting traded to the Commanders.
And there's your transition, and I love it. Yes, sir. Deebo Samuel to the Commanders for a 5th-round draft pick. I believe one more year on that contract, if I'm not mistaken, Speedy.
Yes.
So it is, and they're not giving him an extension right now. I'm very curious what the 49ers thought process is going. I know they need cap space. They're going to give Brock Purdy a contract, but now you're taking weapons away from Purdy.
Well,
it kind of like,
was Deebo fully there last year? I mean, there was a lot of talk of.
He's never there. You should know he was on your fantasy team.
That's what
wasn't he part of that trade?
Yes, he was. Thank you. Thank you, sir. May I have another? Eric's never going to trade with me again. He's never going to trade with me again.
No, because I got some good players back in that deal, too. He wasn't the focal point, we'll say.
No. What was it? It was the trade. I traded what? Deebo?
Joe Mixon.
I think Kyron Williams was in the deal somewhere.
No, he wanted Kyron Williams,
he wanted
Eric,
him?
and I said no.
Okay.
I'll give you Mixon instead.
Okay.
Which
I should have did both.
Honestly, no, I shouldn't have traded either. I shouldn't have been greedy and tried to get Breece Hall. I thought Breece would have given me more. And
so you know what? I call that even. You got Breece Hall rest of season.
Well, actually, honestly, you did well because you also got Bucky Irving as a throw-in.
Right?
Bucky Irving was a throw-in, and then I got. Oh, and I traded you.
You got Puka, but you got Puka.
I traded you. I traded you Andrews too. I traded you Andrews, Mixon, Bucky Irving, and Deebo, and I got Nakua, Breece Hall, and Austin Eckler. That was the deal.
Listen, I'd do that trade again. I would do that again in a heartbeat. Especially seeing what happened. I mean, I missed out on Puka, but I wasn't sure if Puka was going to be.
He wasn't sure of the trade either. He thought I gave up a good amount.
Say?
I was saying I thought you got better, but I said there was a little.
He said I got little. He said I hurt my depth by doing that.
Yeah, and I mentioned Bucky Irving as being the main cock of that.
And then I told him, and then he goes, yeah. Then he goes to you and goes, "Who did you get?" He goes, I said to him, I got Eckler in the deal too. And he goes,
Brian Robinson was the guy.
Yeah, he was.
But and then he got hurt, and then
Eckler did the same thing as what Deebo did, the same thing as Breece Hall did.
Well, honestly, he gave me an option. He said you can either have Hall or you can have who's running back on Green Bay?
Or
Josh Jacobs, and I took Hall over
Thank
Jacobs.
You. Thank you.
Should have taken Jacobs, man.
So you know what, Speedy? I will agree with you.
But you know what? I still won the championship. It doesn't even matter.
Listen, whatever.
And actually, it was. You could thank the guy. Who did I be in the finals?
Oh, I ain't saying. I forget.
You know who it was because we made the great famous trade. I traded Najee Harris for Terry McLaurin.
Oh yeah.
God, that was a great deal.
That's the one you got to be wary about with trades.
that was the one. That was the good one.
But how about the Jaguars? How about the Jaguars and Texans? The Texans coming out of nowhere and making a trade.
Yeah, they got Christian Kirk out there. They said he was going to be released, and they want to just they said, you know what? Forget it. We're gonna trade him.
Move for Houston though, adding depth to their wide receiver core, right? You don't know how Diggs is going to react after tearing his ACL, right? You don't know how long he's going to be out, if he's going to be back to full strength, right? Nico Collins, Tank Dell, you had Christian Kirk out. That's a lot of depth right there, right? They had a strong playoff push. They're adding. I like it.
Hold on a second. Speedy, Mr. Producer, can you find SNY for me on the television, please?
Wow.
I'll try my best.
Thank you.
Unbelievable. We're trying to do it here, Josh.
The Mets are playing now. That's all. I'm just
trying to do a show here.
I know. I asked him one thing. I asked him for one favor.
Unbelievable. Tell him no, Speedy.
You could call us.
No.
Speedy would want to watch it too. Don't
tell him no. We're in the middle of a show. Unbelievable.
Yeah, he does. Look at that. He's smiling.
Unbelievable.
631-672-3108.
We're in the middle of a show. I know my year better than that.
But honestly, that's fine. You could make it me. It's fine. But also, how about the other news? Joey Bosa being let go by the Los Angeles Chargers. So it really feels like that Harbaugh is trying to get rid of, as we say, the dead weight. Not that Joey Bosa's dead weight, but he's always hurt and injured, and his contract's not worth it. Khalil Mack is not going to be there. Obviously, he traded away Keenan Allen. Mike Williams left. I mean, situations with the, what'd you say?
There was a tight end, a kind of bigger name tight end getting released too. Sticking with the Jaguars. You see Evan Ingram.
Did
you see that?
What happened with Evan Ingram? I didn't see it.
A lot of reports that Evan Ingram.
Go back to the Giants.
Well, hang on now.
That TVs? Oh my God, there's so many TVs in this room, Speedy.
Breaking. Jaguars are releasing two-time Pro Bowl, former Giant, Evan Ingram.
Yeah, he got released. Oh, and we do have news on Karl-Anthony Towns. He will be back tonight. It was a family friend who passed away, which we do have a video of what Draymond Green said on Baron Davis's podcast, which was
because of Jimmy Buckets. I don't know, man.
Speedy, who's this guy the New York Rangers just got? Sousey? Who's Sousey?
What kind of fan are you? Jeez.
He was with Minnesota.
They got him for a third-round pick. Is that worth a third-round pick?
Oh, yeah. I don't mind.
Carson Soucy going to the Rangers. All this stuff is happening before tomorrow. Tomorrow's the fun day. I mean, it sounds like we'll get to the NHL Trade Deadline in a minute.
So you just brought it up. Give me some of your predictions, Josh. Who's some of the bigger names that you think are going?
Well, Mikko Rantanen is probably rumored to go again because he doesn't want to stay with Carolina, and they don't want to screw up the whole thing with Jake Gensel again because they traded a haul to get Gensel, even though they traded a good amount to get Rantanen as well, like Natchez and stuff. I mean, Natchez is Speedy. If you can't find it, don't worry. I think Speedy's determined to find it now.
Speedy, don't do it.
Speedy's determined to find it now because he wants to watch. But obviously the number one name, obviously Mikko Rantanen is the number one name that's out there. But the other name that's out there is Brock Nelson for the New York Islanders. He's been with the Islanders for a long time. He's having another good season for them, productive season. So to me, how I view it is this. A lot of these names, like you'll hear Chris Kreider's name, I'm sure pop up. I think surprisingly, a team that I'm not hearing much from is Detroit, which they're not in the playoff, but they're in the wild card right now. They got a shot.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean they need to make any moves to do it. It's similar.
They lost Kopp for the year, so they need to replace that, and they've struggled since Kopp got hurt. I know Andrew Kopp. They have struggled since Kopp got hurt.
Rangers legend.
Well, I mean, he was good for them.
I liked him. I didn't want them to get rid of him.
No, I mean, I think Anaheim's going to have a lot of Mason McTavish will be another, right? McTavish will be one. We've heard Ricard Raquel's name from Pittsburgh. It sounds like, and Erik Karlsson. Sounds like they're going to dump everybody at this point and just go the route of we're done, we're out, we can't do this. Because and I think in the offseason, you are, Speedy, you could tell me if I'm wrong. I think you're going to hear more Sidney Crosby rumors. I think Crosby's done everything he could to try to be a Penguin his whole career. But the thing is, he's still productive. Crosby, he's just on a really, really, really bad team. It's just not being utilized properly. It's done. It's over. I wouldn't be surprised if Sullivan gets fired. They got to do, I think, what's his name? He left Toronto to go to Pittsburgh.
Kyle Dubas.
Dubas has got to do a whole full reset with the Penguins. It's time. It's time. I know it's going to be difficult to move on because you have the core with Malkin and Crosby and Letang and they won how many Stanley Cups? 4. So it's difficult.
Your wish is granted.
You know,
I was able to get it up.
watch them be losing. Hey, who's pitching for the Mets tonight too?
I don't even know.
Oh, well.
Right, so, you know what? You kind of mentioned that with Crosby. You think the same thing with Kreider for the Rangers?
The only reason why I do is because I think his salary. The problem. Here's the issue. The salary, the contract is not good for Kreider, but now he's in his mid-30s and he's got back issues. And what's the biggest thing about Kreider that's been utilized for years and years and years? It was his speed. That's been utilized forever, and now, my opinion, it just doesn't even. Oh, Brandon Sproat's pitching tonight for them. Okay.
By the way, Mets legend Luis Guillorme playing shortstop for the Astros.
Well,
that's why Altuve's in the outfield because of him.
Yeah, right. But no, in all seriousness, when I view like how the Chris Kreider thing is going to develop, you're going to have to gauge the interest. But the problem is, how healthy is he now anyway? He hasn't played. He's on long-term IR, which fine, whatever. We know that that's going to be an issue. Again, it's the age, but his speed element. I mean, he's got 3 assists this season? It's like horrible how bad he's been.
So how do you trade him with no value?
I think this is honestly, I think Drury just wants to get out of the contract. When Drury's the one that gave him the contract in the first place, because he had the 40-goal season. And I mean, ever since they got JT Miller, has been fantastic for them. It's been great for them. I mean, they got. I'll give Drury this. He dumped a lot of the dead weight, Trouba and Lindgren, and he got rid of these guys. I mean, it's a matter of amazing that he was able to even get a 3rd-round pick for VC and Lindgren. That was incredible in itself because those guys aren't worth that. Ryan Lindgren's a borderline 3rd-pair defenseman. Speedy, you could hold me to that. I think that's what he is. He can't skate. He can't check. He gets hurt all the time. He thinks he's Mr. Iron Man, and every time he does something dumb, he gets hurt.
All right. So then what are you hoping the return is for Kreider? Like, what happens if breaking news, Kreider traded, for instance? As an example, everyone, I'm not saying that he is. But what are you hoping to finish that sentence? Traded for, are you hoping for a player? Are you hoping a 2nd-round pick? 3rd round?
I mean, the draft's going to be. I mean, the draft's going to be good. I mean, I would love a center, a prospect center.
Don't we all?
I would love a prospect center. They don't have any of that. They got a lot of defensemen and wingers. That's what they got a lot of. They have no centers. But I just think at this point, with what you're going to get from Kreider, if you could get a 2nd-round pick for him, great. Kudos. You get out of the contract as long as you don't. The thing. What was that? We're playing music, Speedy?
That's coming from. Oh, it's coming from that.
we're Naturescape. Now what's being played, Speedy? What is going on? I hear Katy Perry. This show is great.
Let's shuffle again.
Speedy, turn the TV off.
No, because then that TV will turn off.
Oh, then turn it off. Turn them off.
What is going on? See, it's the Mets curse again.
I think I got it.
First during the show.
We went from relaxing music to Katy Perry singing "Roar." Boy, that was an upbeat. Really.
How did it go? Give us a sample.
Do 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 do. You can hear me roar.
Speedy, we're gonna need that as a sound clip, okay?
Speedy, is that how it sounded? It sounded so peaceful, and then it was like a disaster hit.
We need that clip.
But I mean, Speedy, what are your thoughts on the whole Kreider situation? Because you're a big
I
Ranger
don't.
fan.
Yeah, I don't want to trade him just
Why?
because. The only reason is I think like Eric was saying, the value will be like not worth it. I think it's worth it for an offseason trade, but if they do squeak in like as an underdog, like obviously last year he wasn't good in the playoffs, but he's still a good playoff player for the most part. I would explore that more as an offseason trade.
I just think, in my opinion, I think this is what you're going to get with the value. He's in his mid-30s. He's got back issues already.
And you're hoping for a second rounder then? Why would a team give up a second rounder for a guy who's on?
If you could get a third rounder for Ryan Lindgren, you could get a second.
Yeah, that was insane.
That
was insane.
You could get a second rounder for Chris Kreider.
Right, so then cross town there. What would you give up to get say Brock Nelson?
Man, Brock. I mean,
would that be a second?
They're gonna get a first round pick for him. They will get a first round pick for him. I think they will. Some team will offer it to him. Whether it's, I'm trying to think.
Colorado actually was the most interested from what I was hearing, because they need depth with their centers too.
You know, I mean, I just think when I view, trying to think of a team that really, I mean, Washington would be interesting. Washington would be fascinating. They're one that they have a lot of picks they've accumulated. I mean, their farm system stinks, so they could use all the draft capital they have.
Pair him with Ovi. That's a nice move.
Edmonton. Edmonton would be a good one. You said Colorado. I like also Winnipeg. I think Winnipeg would be fat. Minnesota.
I was going to say that too. They have a lot of injuries.
Minnesota has so many injuries right now. It's ridiculous.
Vegas could be
they just got Riley Smith from the Rangers. I don't know if they're going to really be able to afford that now on top of the Smith acquisition, which they got a third round pick for that too.
Don't worry, they still have some time to put Mark Stone on long-term IR first.
Oh, who? Oh goodness, somebody put
Florida put Kachuk.
They put Kachuk on. Oh, don't worry, they'll be able to get Brock Nelson, Florida. You watch. They'll get him. Oh wow, Kachuk is back for the playoffs. Great, we can put Brock Nelson on the second line now. Great.
That'd be filthy. Wow, that's a move to make.
Only in the state of Florida can they fix the cap. I don't know why other teams just don't learn from this.
Oh no, Vegas mastered it last year,
and they still flopped.
Freaking hurdle.
Oh yeah, they still and they still lost. But no, I think the NHL trade deadline, it's neck and neck with the MLB trade deadline for the best trade deadline. I've always found, the NHL trade deadline is like relentless. Like trades are still, who was it? It was the star player a couple years ago. He got traded after 3:00. It was announced.
Was it that Hurdle last year?
It was Hurdle. He got
year.
traded at 3. It got announced at 3:10 last year. He was traded to Vegas at 3:10. It got announced. I'm like, Tomas Hurdle got freaking traded at 3:10 last year because
not much of anything. I was annoyed. Like, really, the Rangers couldn't do that?
Well, I mean, listen, the Rangers were so gung ho. They almost got Gensel. They were so gung ho on that one.
All right, all right. Top 4 in order. Trade deadlines. 1 MLB, 2 NHL, 3 NBA, 4 NFL.
Yeah, the NFL doesn't even really have one. Theirs is like non-existent.
All right.
Yeah,
that's fair.
I mean, it's literally a matter of. I like I said, I still have scars from the Keith Yandel trade.
Oh God,
I was pissed when that happened. And I said, I remember I was living in my parents' house when that happened. I was in my room on my phone reading it. And I said, oh, I really hope Girardi's in this trade and not Duclair. Because remember, they didn't know who it was. They said Dan Girardi might be on the block, but there's also rumors that Duclair could be in the deal too. I was like, oh, please, let it be Girardi. And I get Duclair. I was furious when that happened. Remember that great pairing of Keith Yandel and Dan Boyle?
Oh, yeah. Average age of, 37? between the two of them.
Dan Boyle's only known for one thing as a Ranger, getting into a fight with Larry Brooks, as did John Tortorella 50 billion times. But, you know.
Is that when you were working there?
No, it was the year before.
Okay.
I did ask Larry about that. I said, very intimidating, by the way. I said to Larry, I said, oh, so you were a big fan of Torts. He goes, oh, huge. He wanted to beat me up at the bus stop. I was a big fan of his. Yeah, man. That was, well, remember when Tortorella said to him, do you ever get beat up at a bus stop? He said that to him randomly after a post game, and I was like, "What is going on here?" I was like, "All right," but no, I think last year's trade deadline was crazy because I really, I remember I was texting Speedy back and forth. That's like the one time Speedy gets up at like 9 o'clock in the morning. Is like on NHL trade deadline day. Speedy, yes
I
or
don't
no?
think I was up there that early.
No, you were pretty. You were up early when
the first one I texted.
Because I texted you and I said, sounds like it's down to Rangers and Hurricanes for Gensel. And you said, my goodness, if he actually goes to the Rangers. Yeah. And I said to you, it could happen, but there was one guy I didn't want them to trade. It was
Hoffman?
Not Hoffman. It was
Berard?
It was Berard.
Yeah.
Their first rounder from BC. Who's becoming one of the best players in that draft now. And I said they cannot trade Berard in this deal. Can't do it. And I remember I was texting with Errol too. Errol was like, "They're gonna have to do it if they're gonna get him." I said, "I really don't want to do that." And then he went to Carolina, and I was like, "That stinks." And then they got bunch of
Rangers legend Jack Roslovic.
Well, I mean, Wenberg wasn't terrible.
I was fine with Wenberg. I didn't mind him either.
Yeah, I think the problem was Drury tried to go for the home run, and there weren't many big superstar home runs last year. Gensel was the guy. And Drury was willing to trade everybody but Berard. He was going to do everything to get him, even Ottman. And just, but look, the Rangers beat him in the playoffs. So.
That's just madness, Josh. Straight madness, that trade deadline.
Listen, the NHL trade deadline to me, it's just fast and the things come in like everything. Yeah. Elliot Friedman has everybody talks about when Woj was doing it and Schefter and Rappaport. Elliot Friedman gets no credit. You notice that? On trade deadline day, he is relentless with his news. Every 10 seconds, there's a story on his X page that somebody else got traded. And I'm just like saying that, and I'm going, my God, what else is happening? No, they also traded Speed. They traded for the defenseman from Pittsburgh.
Oh, Chad Ruhwedel. Forgot about him.
Yeah. I didn't understand that. I mean, they got it for depth, but I was like, okay. But yeah, I mean, I think right now, Ronton is the number one guy. And the thing is, Carolina is a cup contender. The problem is they don't want to get screwed like they did the Gensel one. The thing is, they traded more for Ronton than they did for Gensel. So they don't want to lose because Ronton's not sure that he wants to resign there.
Chance to get it back, though. A little chance of redemption, right?
I mean, but I mean, you also have to remember, too, you better trade him and you better get to that's going to help the team now, not 2 or 3 years from now. Like, that's the thing that Carolina needs to do. They need to get pieces now. I mean, that's what I would do. Like, what did Errol say before he left? He's chained him to the Islanders. Why would Ronton then sign with the Islanders?
For Brock Nelson. Boom.
Why would he sign with the Islanders? Lou would do that. By the way, Mike, really quickly, Caleb went to his first Ranger game the other night. I did not go. My wife went with my sister-in-law, a couple people. He got on the Jumbotron 3 times. He got a shirt in the T-shirt launch. He got a puck at the game. He
just became a fan for life, it sounds like.
Every time he always wants to make sure that he always has to be there when they score a goal now because he wants to sing the song.
And how's that song go again?
You sing it.
I thought we were still singing.
There it is.
Just for you, Eric.
Sounds like a Yeti singing the Ranger song.
I know. Not everyone has the voice that Caleb does.
Or Josh singing Raw. I mean, that's up there.
Well, it was just such a peaceful song, and then once I hear roar, I'm just like, what is going on? Like, what happened? Like, is Katy Perry going to come out of her blow-up line again like she did at the Super Bowl? Like, what are we doing?
Did not have you and Speedy singing on the bingo card tonight. Definitely missed.
Speedy, Speedy's got a good voice. He just doesn't realize it.
You're right, Speedy. Give us another segment.
No, that's enough. By one song limit per show.
All right. Well, we have
some more madness to talk about. The trade deadline's madness.
Yep.
You know what else is madness, Josh? What month are we in?
We're in March, man.
That's right.
How about St. John's?
Badgers? What are you thinking of your Badgers right now? Playing pretty well of late.
Second round exit.
Oh,
Speedy,
come on.
Speedy knows I'm so negative with them. It's
their best offensive team in a while. Though.
I mean, well, Tanji's been. Well, how good has Tanji been since he transferred from Kansas? Been great. I mean, it's literally been the guy. But I mean, Duke's the #1 team. We know this with Auburn.
Well, taking them.
How about St. John's, man?
Phenomenal.
Go Johnnies. Go St. John's. You know that it's amazing in 2 years. What now? It helps when you have all the money coming in from the vitamin water guy. But it really, really is incredible the job that Pitino has done. Tell me if Pitino should be coach of the year.
Yes,
100%. Not even close. Should easily be coach of the year.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really do you know how much of a market March Madness is going to bring now and revenue for St. John's by this? It's going to be insane in this area.
Huge.
It's like, when you look at just how fast it happened, because last year I think he said it last year. Didn't he say last year was one of the worst years I ever had coaching in my life hey, we're almost in the top 5 and we're going to be a 2 seed in this freaking thing. That's remarkable. And it really just, and listen, Pitino's done we know about his personal stuff. We know. But he really, but this is probably the last job he's ever going to have because he doesn't ever want to leave New York. So what he's done in a 2-year span is just incredible. And the turnaround. Now, how far can they go? Now, their 3-point shooting is iffy, and their free throw shooting is iffy.
Offensive efficiency in a lot of areas.
Yeah, but they have great. The defense is great. Their length is phenomenal. They block a lot of shots, and they do a lot of good fast break points. That's something that they're a very quick, fast team. So I thought that was a mask on Guillermo's face. I'm sorry, it's his beard. Holy smokes, that was a mask on his face. Go on, Eric. I'm sorry.
Hold on. You just said everything that kind of sounds like the Knicks, no?
I still don't trust Tibbs getting them to the next level.
But you're talking about offense, defense. I mean, that's New York right now, no?
Offensive part, yes. The defensive part, they got a lot of work on with the perimeter defense, the Knicks.
Mm-hmm. But I'm excited for March Madness. The Johnnies.
You know what I love? I love
Duke. Yes, I know.
I love the 12-something games that start like 12:30, 12:40. It's like, oh my God, there's a game on. There's another game on. And another one. There's 3 games on now at once. This is great. Then you're on like the CBS app and you're just clicking. You're clicking everything. Like, let's go to this game and go to this game. And then
the upsets are the best part.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's great. And then when those teams get to like the Sweet 16, they get blown up by somebody.
Yeah, and then it's like, oh, this is what should have.
That was fun. It's like, well, that was a good time for a little bit. But no, I mean, who would your favorite be right now? Would it you would say Duke?
I would say Duke.
Speedy?
I was last week thinking Alabama, but they've started to slump. I'm now more on Houston, probably.
Anybody on Wisconsin?
I think they're good. They're like a favorite. And I don't just start it. It's their best offensive team, but yeah.
Again, because John Tanji is
I know.
phenomenal. That's literally why. So nobody's going with St. John's.
I think
They're
they can
good.
be
It's just that I think they have a Sweet 16 ceiling. I don't think much more than that.
no Elite Eight. I would say Elite Eight.
I don't know. I trust Patino in this tournament, though.
Elite Eight potential.
Patino will outcoach any of these guys. Patino in every matchup, no matter who he's going against, is going to be the best coach in every matchup. Forget that. Any words, Mr. Silence over there?
So wait, who goes further than Josh? Wisconsin or St. John's?
Oh, I think St. John's.
Wow.
Oh, I think St. John's.
The hesitation, though, I don't know. Kind of hesitate to say that.
Hesitation. I don't think I had any. I think that right.
Josh was trying to think how many of the 68 teams are going to outcoach Greg Gard.
Yeah, everybody will, and their mother. Doesn't matter. He is the worst. How many times does Wisconsin lose on buzzer beaters in March Madness? All the time. They lose on more buzzer beaters than anybody. It's the worst. I get, but again, the one thing St. John's is going to have going for them, they're going to have the head coaching advantage in every matchup.
Yes.
Matino's been here before. This is something that I think a lot of people need to remember and understand. Is the talent going to succeed the other teams?
UConn?
Or supersede the other teams? Probably not, but the coaching is going to be very vital.
Is it going to be better than UConn this year, coaching?
Oh, he's blasted Hurley 2 games already this year.
You don't think? I'm just saying, try to do it 3
UConn's,
games.
yeah, UConn's going to get in, but they're going to be on.
They're going to be like an 8 seed.
Yeah, they're going to get in like the second round. They're not good enough. And
Well,
Hurley,
if they play Florida. Florida, I think, is upset.
I mean, Hurley has literally said this is one of the softest teams he's ever coached. He's put him on blast nonstop. But I don't know. I mean, Duke obviously has the best player in the country in Cooper Flag, which, by the way, hey, Duke fans, when you're chanting one more year to him, he's not coming back one more year. He's going to be the number 1 overall pick in the draft, you dopes.
Don't be so
Really? Yeah, okay.
Wasn't there some talks that he said he was coming back too? Was there some rumbling that way?
I don't. Maybe when you were going to the bathroom, there was a rumbling, but not that kind of rumbling.
Hey, now.
I'm just saying.
Woo.
No, I feel like the field is very open this year. Like the last year, like we've all said UConn, right? The last couple of years was the best team, most size, best shooting ability. Arrow and I had that argument for half an hour. He thought Purdue was going to beat UConn. I said, no shot.
I thought Auburn wasn't.
No. Who did I pick? I picked UConn.
You picked UConn last year.
I picked UConn last year. Yeah, it was easy. It was like the easiest, literally the easiest pick. They cruised. I don't think I ever saw a team cruise and blow every single opponent out like UConn did last year by like 20 points.
And the year before. Every game was double digits.
They just blew every single person out, and it wasn't even close. And then when everyone was like, they got Purdue, they got a good shot, Purdue, though. I like Edey with that man. Okay. Meanwhile, the team the year before when they had Ivy was the better team for Purdue, I thought. When they had Jaden Ivey.
Yep.
And they didn't even get to the Final Four.
They didn't even get out of the first round.
Well, because Matt Painter is famous.
Yep. Purdue joined the Virginia club. Except they didn't win the title the next year.
No, I mean it was such an easy pick last year with UConn. I was on the horse. Yes. Remember Arrow asked me the question, would you bet UConn or the field? He asked me, and I said, easy. Give me UConn. I'll bet everything on UConn. You can have the field, and I'll take UConn. Fine.
Do it again this year.
That's not going to happen.
Come on.
No. They'll easily win that one.
UConn. We get the field. You get Wisconsin, you get UConn. We get the field.
Is Kansas going to get in, or are they not going to get in?
No, they'll get in, but I don't think they're as good.
So many. Well, Bill Self said this is just a bad team this year. But I'm wondering his job security, though. He has not been great the last couple of years. But I feel they're never going to, because he's won, 2 or 3 national championships?
Well, they just won a championship 3 years ago. So
yeah, he's won, I think, 2 of them?
Yeah.
You could thank Mario Chalmers. But yeah, he's won 2 of them. So I think I mean, it doesn't matter. Memphis would have gotten the title stripped anyway, probably, because if they would have won anyway, it doesn't matter.
You know what else seems like craziness and just, talking arrogance and ignorance and stuff too? Did you? I mean, listen, all these NBA players have their podcasts and stuff going on.
He's so good at doing this segue. Speedy,
You know what's crazy too? Playoff Paul George, podcast Paul George kind of stopped doing his podcast a little bit to try to focus on some championship stuff. But a lot of the NBA players are kind of going into the whole podcast stuff. Obviously, the Knicks have the roommate show. I mean, what's your thoughts on players doing some podcasts when they're not playing games and training?
I don't mind. I don't mind it, but I mean, the notion that people have to stop doing their podcast because it's a distraction to them. Yeah, come on. Paul George didn't want to do the podcast anymore because his team stinks and he didn't want to hear about it anymore. That's why he stopped doing it. Not because he needed to focus on basketball, because his team stinks. He was sick of hearing it. Now Embiid's out for the season. Poor Tyrese Maxey. Somebody's got to get. You ever see the video where that cat is stuck in the cat is stuck with all the plants and it's locked in the store, and the guy comes into the window and says, "I'm going to get you out of here." Somebody's got to do that to Tyrese Maxey. I'm going to get you out. I'm going to get you out of here. Somebody's got, I feel so bad for that kid. He's stuck with two bums. One of them never plays in Embiid, who's still trusting the process, which is long gone. And the other one, Paul
Process stuff with Embiid's knees.
Yeah, well, I mean,
fortunately,
like I said, my thought process, what the whole thing is, the bigger story was what happened the other night with Karl-Anthony Towns, and his girlfriend came out with the whole stuff about cancer and everything like that, but we found out about his family friend and everything like that. But then Draymond Green had the gall, and Speedy has it, to go on Baron Davis's podcast and say what it is. Speedy?
That was a big game for us, and obviously they ain't had Cat. Some would say he didn't play because Jimmy was in the building. I don't know.
It's like that.
I'll tell you what, though, I saw Cat Pops yesterday at the game, and it's always love. I got mad love for the OG. His Pops is an incredible man. But yeah, they said Cat ain't play because Jimmy came into town, and him and Jimmy had the infamous practice in Minnesota.
Oh yeah.
And so
what?
That's the thing. I don't know.
That's a conspiracy theory says.
I mean, you heard that, right? It's not funny. His family friend died of cancer. It's not even do some research before you make a joke about that. It's not funny. And it just shows the kind of person that Draymond Green is, which is a classless, arrogant SOB who should not be in the league anymore because he's a dirty SOB himself.
He's an entertainer.
I don't know who he's entertaining, but it ain't entertaining anybody else. Everybody's annoyed with him. But do research before you make a joke about that. It's not funny. It was a very serious. His friend died. It's not funny. He's trying to be funny. Then you got Baron Davis. Whoa, conspiracy theory. Dude, stop. I'm a little surprised at Baron Davis. Supposed to be one of the classier guys in this league. It was. And then you put Draymond Green on your podcast. That went out the window. Eric, thoughts on that whole thing with Mr. Draymond?
It's tricky. You know what I mean? In terms of the human side of it, yeah, it's terrible. It stinks. But he's what is he doing? He's on a podcast. How do you get extra views and extra stuff like that? As you say stuff, right? And sometimes controversy and everything else come about with it, and it's tricky because again, it's the entertainment side versus the human element side. So it's neither here nor there. It's something that you hope isn't said, and it's kept personal. And it's kept as close to your heart when something like that happens. But yeah, it's tough. I'd prefer not to hear that, obviously, in every aspect. But yeah, that's also too.
Not the best time to be doing that.
No. I think the Knicks will bounce back. They have another tough one tonight, though, Josh. The Knicks.
Lakers are playing well.
Lakers beat them without Luka. And later on that night, what happened? They traded for Luka that night. Right? So now you have Luka coming to town or you have the Knicks going to LA with Luka, LeBron. LeBron is playing as if he's back to being a 30-year-old player, not 40. LeBron's lighting it up. Luka's making him look younger and refreshed. Lakers team's going to be dangerous in the playoffs.
Oh, 100%. I think when you have those two, it helps. I feel for the Mavericks, man. God, what a down. Where you go from the finals last year to – I would just shut Davis down for the year.
I think it's –
Because you're not going to go anywhere this year without Kyrie. It's over. It's done.
Agreed.
That for next year. I mean, but how long is Kyrie going to be out for? 20 ACL is like a 10-month injury.
I mean,
well, how long is he going to be out? He's going to be out probably till January, probably.
He's at least a year injury, no?
He's probably going to be out till January of next year.
Look at football. Look at baseball. Guys tearing ACL. It's like a year.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Last thing before we do you're better than that. Breaking news that apparently Dave Roberts is on the verge of a historic contract extension with the Dodgers.
Not surprising.
Speedy wants to say something.
How much of it is deferred?
Yes, sir.
If Aaron Boone can get a contract extension, Dave Roberts deserves another one. He's going to see this team through. They're going to win more than one championship. It's going to be awful for the rest of the baseball field for quite some time.
Yeah, well, I mean,
good job.
Yeah, I mean, listen,
support it.
What are you going to do? Yeah. All right, it is now time for the end of the show, and it is time for the what is it, Eric?
You're better than that. Now, listen, I was going to start with
Eric's going to go. Okay, go.
Your singing. I was going to start with you watching the Mets Dirt, our podcast.
I still am. So does
Matt. All I see is Josh in the corner. Josh, you kind of reminded me of the Brady Bunch right now.
Well, no, it's honestly, I'm actually not even watching the game like this. It literally, you can ask Speedy. This is actually how. No, Speedy, it's not like this is actually how the setup is. Like my head is like this.
I'm not going to go down that route. All right, I'm going to spare you tonight, Josh. We'll see what happens next week or not. However,
oh, how wonderful! I feel honored.
You did kind of start to touch up on it when we talked about the NBA just now, and you know what? I could be going on and on about something that's been going on and on and on, but I think it's a little more magnified right now with Kyrie going down with the ACL injury, right? You come out and you say all these things about Luka, how you can't win with Luka. You were just in the NBA Finals.
Yep.
Okay? You just beat Minnesota to get there, right? OKC is upcoming. You handled
no, they're there. OKC's there.
You handled business. You were the best team in the West. You got the experience. You ran it back this year. You added some pieces. And now you said, you know what? Let's trade for Anthony Davis. This is a good one. You trade for Davis. You get rid of Luka. He's the staple of the Mavericks. When you talk about all the Mavericks, great. Luka would have been number one easily. Dirk would have allowed it. Dirk would have said, absolutely. Dirk got him a championship. I really think Luka could have done the same thing. You paired him with Kyrie. It was a great fit, great match, right? They gelled well together. You had a couple of big men who didn't work out, but guess what? You could have gotten quite a few names that were out there and dealt. You know, who knows? Maybe a Mark Williams to Dallas could have made a big difference instead of getting rescinded there, right? Maybe a Yusuf Nurkic instead of going to Charlotte could have made a big difference there.
Yeah,
totally talking about fumbling and dropping the ball completely. Come on. Mavericks, you're better than that.
Speedy.
Well, I'm going to go back to the NFL with another guy that we love to bash a lot on this network. And I know you've done it on your show a couple times. That's Shedeur Sanders, who apparently could fall out of the first round because he could not interview properly, or at least out of the top 10, maybe not out of the first round. Apparently, he was called arrogant and unprofessional, and why are we not surprised? So, Deion Sanders, Shedeur Sanders, yeah, you're better than
that. Mine has to go to the Kansas City Chiefs because I want to know what their thought process is after you saw Mahomes get absolutely obliterated in the Super Bowl. Hey, let's trade our best offensive linemen away. So who's guarding for him now? Anybody have an idea? Because I don't.
We could trade you Evan Neal. We don't mind.
No. I mean, there's no plan in place. None. They're literally just I don't even know what they're doing. Like, they think they're going to be shrewd with trading away Tyreek Hill was one thing. That's a receiver. Trading away your top offensive lineman is another thing. That's a massive deal. Kansas City Chiefs, you're better than that. And, well, I hope you're not better than that going forward because we're sick of you anyway. Check us out, worldwidesportsradio.com. TikTok. See, you remembered it, Speedy? Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Give us a like, follow.
Check out other great shows. Mondays and Wednesdays, Jabba in the Mouth. Of course, our show on Thursdays at 6 p.m. And of course, the Weekend Crunch on Saturdays at 7 o'clock.
Yeah, there's no more Islander conflicts this year.
No more.
They're all either day games or West Coast games if they play Saturday.
There you go. So there's that. But Eric,
and odds are they're not going to make the playoffs.
Eric, it's good to see you back.
You too.
Have everybody back. And again, it's been a few weeks. We'll be back again next week.
Same time? Let's do the same time.
I like this.
All right. We'll do the same time.
As long as the traffic is good, we're good. So, for Speedy PD, of course, for Eric Bowe, I'm Josh Silverberg. Have a great weekend. Enjoy your sports. We'll talk to you next week. This has been Game On Live on the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
It's the Worldwide Sports Radio Network.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good